And I'm definitely thankful for both of our presenters today. And next, I would like to highlight Sage Andrew Romero. Sage has just been a tremendous example, especially for young people. He's always somebody who, if you call him, he'll definitely pick up the phone, and he continues to try to perpetuate culture in regards to dance and storytelling and being an educator in that way. And so I'm definitely happy that Sage was able to join us, and he's going to share with us an example of his work and talk a little bit more about what he's been able to do. So Sage, if you're on the call.
Check. Manahu. Manahu? Yahoo, can you hear me? Yeah? Okay, good. All right, well, Manahu, everybody. Like Joseph said, I'm Sage Andrew Romero, and I'm honored to be here with the UFC and all of you to share a little bit of our culture in regards to Indigenous Peoples Day and everything that you're doing to raise awareness, along with UAII. I do have some connections with UAII. Joseph did a presentation earlier, and he talked of Dave Rambo. That's my uncle, and he's from where I'm here now in Tobo Wahamitu, Big Pine, California. That's where I am, and I'm within the studio that I had built with the help of volunteers and community members. And what this is, where I'm at now, is a cultural studio. And here we have dance groups, we do classes, we're able to do virtual presentations. And behind me is a recording booth. We're able to record music, language, stories. And where I'm at now is our media station, so we can create multimedia. I work on animation too. I'm teaching myself how to do that. But I've always been an advocate for our culture and dispelling stereotypes and showing people who we really are, that we're still alive today, and we have a living culture which we're keeping going today. And another big thing that I like to promote is sobriety. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke. I want to show our young people that that's something you don't need to have in your life. It's caused a lot of damage to our people. It's brought a lot of loss to our culture, our heritage, because every elder or every person that we've lost to substances was resources, was languages, was songs. We lost a lot of things from that. So that's one of my big things, is to promote sobriety to our young people. And but I always want to work with our youth, so that's important. That I'm glad that Joseph asked me to be here, because I work with youth. And it's one of my passions, is to provide safe, healthy places for our youth to learn or develop themselves, and then do presentations. I do cultural exchange presentations with people. As the slide said, I've traveled internationally, so I've taught about our native ways to many different people, but not like exploiting our ways, but just like sharing what we do and some of our knowledge and things that will benefit other people to know, and of course keep us in the light of, they're still here, they're still keeping these traditions alive. And so that's what I want to do for you today as well, as an offering of wellness and as an offering of good spirit. I want to do a dance for you, the hoop dance, which is what you see in my picture. I have the hoops on. And before I do the dance, I want to explain what it is a little bit, so you know what you're seeing. I know when I switch over to the other camera, because I have the camera in my studio space, there might not be sound. I'm not sure if I have it set out right, but even if there's not, just watch it and you can see visually what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I'm taking these circles, the sacred symbol of our people, and I'm utilizing that medicine of it and creating shapes upon my body while I'm dancing. And every single shape that I'm doing represents something in the natural world. Some like an animal, a plant, a medicine, also like weather, wind, rain, all those things are represented. And we're also told that when people are watching it, you are seeing what you're supposed to see. So it might not be the same for another person. It's all relative depending on your experience. You might see something different than somebody else, and that's okay. And the dance traditionally was meant to give people a good feeling when they're watching it. and that's believed to be the medicine working inside of you. So when you're watching and you get a good feeling, you see something that makes you say, oh, or smile, that's believed to be that medicine. And you take that medicine and you take that and send it to yourself so that you feel better in your life, or you heal from something that you're going through. Or if you have somebody in your life that's going through a hard time, you send that good thought their way. And that traditionally was meant to be a way to transfer that medicine over to them. And I know young people here, my mother, she worked for the Indian Child Welfare Act. She worked with a lot of foster children. So I know she was it was a very important thing to her to work with foster children. So I'm really happy I could be here to dance for you all today. And we lost her this year to COVID, the beginning of the year, unfortunately. We almost lost my dad as well, but he made it, and she didn't. So what happened is I actually ended up naming the studio that I'm in, the cultural studio, after her. So it is now called the Margaret L. Romero Cultural Studio, and it's a way to continue her legacy, her work, to help youth and the community and to keep our culture alive. So I'm honored to be able to continue, sharing in her spirit in a good way, keep that going. And thank you for the condolences. So that's what this space is for. And so as I'm dancing, look at that and think of that in a good way. And again, that's some of our traditional medicine. So I'm gonna switch the camera over, and I'm gonna run over and push play on my music and then go out to the studio, and then I'll start dancing for you, okay? So hope you guys enjoy. Remember, take it all in a good way, and think of it in a good spirit, okay? So.
amazing.
That was awesome. Oh my God.
Incredible. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. So as you watch that, as you see my space there, that's where we have our dance groups and do our small gatherings right now. But the hope is that our community will be able to come and utilize this space for our cultural stuff, and also to host guests that come visit us, and we can do presentations, workshops, dances, all those things. But again, thank you, Joseph, and thank you, Friends of Children FC, for allowing me to be a part of this. And remember that teaching that I told you when you watch that dance, it gave you that good feeling. Use that to help yourself heal or feel better, or send that good feeling right now to those in your life that you love that might be sick or going through a hard time. But thank you again. Thank you, Joseph, for having me and asking me to be a part of this. And UAII, appreciate you all, and wishing you all many blessings and all the best in your days to come. Joseph.
Okay.
Sage mentioned the medicine of the hoop dance. Can you share more about the medicine of everything? So I guess that could go for all of us, right?
Yeah, go right ahead, Sage.
Yeah. So when we talk about the medicine of everything, everything has life, and many teachings of many different Native people, and we honor those things, such as like the rocks have their own life, the trees have their own lives, the waters have their own life. So each of those things have a certain type of medicine to them that helps us throughout our lives, and we honor those things. So that's something that has to do with how we carry ourselves on our day-to-day, that we're always kind to people and good to our environment, because all of those things have that medicine in them, which is life. Medicine can be like teachings. Medicine can be benefits from experience of whatever it is. But medicine is a broad term that we utilize, and a lot of it isn't actual medicine, like physical, something you ingest, but a lot of it is spiritual and mental and visual. We have all those different types of medicines that we utilize, so we try to honor all of that. Oh, we've got another one in the chat. Sage, how long have you been doing the native dancing? How long did it take to learn that, and who taught you? As for native dancing, I've been dancing all my life. There's traditional styles, like tribal styles that our people do. They're like really slow tempo and just really not too elaborate, but I've been doing those all my life. And then I got into powwow as a youth when I turned to a teen, 13, and then I started learning that. But my goal was always to be a hoop dancer ever since I was a child, because it comes from my Taos Pueblo side, my father's side. And so I always wanted to learn that. And with us, we have to earn the right. So I did that by living sobriety, and then also starting my dance group that is still what I do today, and learning language and doing cultural stuff. And then my family gave me the right when I was 19. And so from there, I asked an individual by the name of Robert Alley if he could show me some basics. And the teaching is you're showing all the basic routine, and you're showing it so you get it down the first day. Then you're given 4 days to practice it on your own. Then after the 4th day, you come back and show it to your family. And if you retain it well enough and you look good, then they give you the blessing to do it. And so that's how I did that. So Robert Alley, he really helped kick me up to
had a question that she
really
wanted,
starting, but then I started
I think it
learning
was for
from
Sage. What
other
motivates you to
dancers
stay
and
sober
other
even
life
around people who are
experiences.
not?
A lot of my hoop dance style comes from just like my personal was something journey, that was taught to how me by I've my family, developed my myself. parents, and my it grandmother, just who passed away in keeps on going. 2019. And I'm 42 she now. lived so to 93. I've been honored, but she spent her whole life not touching a drop of alcohol,
But
and she always talked about that to us. And my mom and dad, they were both sober as well, and so they really instilled within us that value. So I had the blessing to not really have it around that much, but of course with my peers, people that I grew up, my family and my relatives, there were those that utilized substances. a lot of times they just understood and they knew my stance upon it. And I was also taught that when you're dancing or doing these traditional activities, you want to keep your spirit strong and clean. You can't have those substances within your spirit when you're doing these presentations, when you're dancing for people, because that could affect their spirit in a different way. If they're watching you and you're under some kind of influence, that could really affect someone's spirit negatively. So it's best to keep yourself clean when you're out there doing these things. And when you're in the circle in general, you want to keep yourself strong. So that was always a motivation. And when I was young, first learning my dances, I told myself that if I ever drink or do drugs, I'm gonna have to stop dancing. And I just love dancing and doing all this so much that motivated me enough to just keep on going and not needing that in my life. And as for social circles, like surrounding myself, I don't really associate with people that go out. I don't have to go to bars and stuff like that to be happy. You know, I have my own things that I love to do. I do art, like my animation. I like to read. I like to exercise. I like to hike. And you find people that like common things like you. And then as you get older, you know, you start finding those people that connect with you. Because a lot of my best friends in the world are sober as well. And they may live far away, but you know, we still have a connection that's very strong. But it takes time. It can be very hard when you're young because a lot of people are trying to influence you. But just be strong in your choice and just maintain that. Keep your spirit strong and clean. That's just always been my motivation. So I hope that's helped in some way. Oh.